Hello, this is Andrew with Missing Remote, and this is a Google Home Hub, or maybe it's a Google Nest Hub. I don't know. It's a hub. It's a touchscreen Google device, and I saw one of these at one of my over the Thanksgiving holiday when we went to visit one of my family members, and it looked really slick, so I grabbed one on Black Friday. And so here it is, and we're going to unbox it, have a play. Shiny plastic, help at a glance, and that took a little longer than I expected. Here we have the hub, and it also has a shiny plastic protective layer on it that comes off hopefully easily. There are several different color options. Clearly I went with the green one, although I don't remember selecting that. Well, that's a lot harder to get off than I expected. But now it's gone. And so this is the hub. And it has a speaker on the back. There's a power cord. Here's the microphone on/off button. I don't know what that is, probably power. And let's see what else is in the box. Okay, this is the power cord. And it is, that's impossible to read that. I can't read that. Here we go. 0.4 amp. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure out some way to actually see that a little bit better. Not that it's super important. So the next trick is, of course, to plug it in and get it set up. So let's do that. So here we are in the kitchen where this thing will live. And this is actually the use case that kind of sold me on it. My sister was using it to have a recipe. And I think that's really handy. I do wish that there was a way to, like they had supplied a nice way to do something with all this cord. Because I'm not sure what I'm going to do there. Probably... Sorry, that's the, keep bumping the mixer. Probably stick it to the back somehow, just so that's out of the way. I don't know. I'll figure it out. If you're familiar with Google products, like their other Google Home hubs and things, you need to go and do the actual setup on your phone, which, makes sense. Although, since this is a touchscreen, it would be convenient if you could just kind of do it on here. So I'm going to pause the video here and get it set up. As one would expect, or hopefully expect, from an ecosystem as mature as Google's, the first run experience is very smooth. You connect to it using your phone. Both iOS and Android are supported. Once you do that, it runs through an update process where it gets it to the latest version, and then you can go ahead and set up the device itself. This involves setting up Google Assistant to do voice match, aligning any partners that you want to use it, things like Spotify or HBO Go or Now, whichever. Although you can't play those devices on the display itself, it's more for casting it to compatible televisions. You can also set it up as a clock face, or you can use the photo display feature. That's a big thing that Google's been pushing. I didn't really care to have the photos on there, so I just went with a clock face. Like other Google Home devices, you can use the Google Home Hub or Nest Hub as an interface to your home automation system. I use a Hubitat system, so there's a bridge that you install on the Hubitat to create a relationship between Google Assistant and the Hubitat, but most other home automation controllers also have this feature, and this provides a visual interface to those devices alongside the normal just audio or voice control that you would get from another audio-only Google Home. You do the voice match, and you can of course use it to answer questions and things like that as well. While you can set up quite a few over-the-top providers with the display during setup, only YouTube TV and YouTube are really properly supported on the device itself. You can't watch Netflix on it, which is kind of a letdown. But I do like this feature because we have a YouTube TV subscription, and of course YouTube is really nice for watching recipes or whatever you want to do with it. And of course Google Play Music also works on the device. And other services like Spotify or YouTube Music should also work on the device, but I did not test them. The major reason why I decided to pick this up was so I could put recipes on it, either through YouTube, which are pretty easy to use, or recipes that are published on the internet. Unfortunately, this doesn't quite work the way that I wanted it to, because only Google's supported partners actually work with it. So if you are looking for a recipe that you know it exists on the internet, but it's not one of the 6 or so providers that Google works with, you just can't find it and it won't show up. If you do find a recipe on your phone, you can send it to the display as long as it's one of the partners. Or you can search on the device using your voice, which works like this. Hey Google, show me Bon Appetit's recipe for baked pancake.
All right, here are some recipes.
Power consumption is 2.6 watts when it's doing nothing or showing the clock face, and around 3.2 watts when it's playing video. That's, I think, pretty reasonable given what it is, but obviously I would like to see a lower power consumption when it's doing nothing. Thermals are managed very well on the device. The maximum temperature that I saw was about 30 degrees Celsius, both front and back. The form factor, though, is kind of frustrating. Well, first off, there's no place to put the cord. So you have to sort that business out yourself, either with a zip tie or some kind of Velcro strap or something. It would be nice if there was just some mechanism to store the cord somewhere so that it wasn't all over the place. The other major issue that I have with the form factor is that you can't mount it. There's nothing that makes that easy, and the screen doesn't rotate either front to back, so to tilt it, you just kind of have that fixed tilt. As well as if you flip the device upside down, if I just say wanted to use some command strips or something to mount it to the bottom of a cabinet, the screen doesn't rotate like it would on a phone. And I find that to be pretty frustrating. So while I like the device, I don't like that it requires a fixed amount of counter space, and there's really just no way to move it off of the counter or the table or whatever into a different kind of orientation without cutting a hole in something and building a frame. So I find that to be pretty frustrating. That's pretty much all there is to the device. I do like it, and I'm going to keep it. I just wish that it was a little bit more flexible. Hopefully you found this useful. If you did, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. If you have any questions or comments or want me to test something in particular, just drop it down in the comment section and I will get to that as soon as I can. Cheers.